Hey, Benji.
Hey. I don't even know how I'm looking right now. I just like threw this up here. I'm like doing, always the last minute things always. Let me try to center myself. Oh, I don't even got
Hey,
my
you
screen on.
all.
Jesus. Oh,
Hello,
this is so
hello,
ghetto.
hello.
Oh, this is ghetto. I
What
forgot to
happened?
turn my screen
What
on.
happened?
No, I'm saying I forgot to turn my screen on. Like that's so ghetto. I
Oh,
never
okay.
start the show and not have my daggone screen on. But you know what it is? Because you just sent me that video that you literally just sent like 2 seconds ago.
I
Thank
did.
you
I
for
sent it
in
5 seconds
advance. You
ago.
know what I'm saying? We had a whole week. We
Well,
had a
I had
week.
clips from 2 weeks. I had they were no longer relevant. So the
No,
clips I
I'm
had for
playing.
the
I'm
show
playing.
last week weren't relevant again.
But yeah, yeah, y'all see my what you call it background before I put it up. But yeah, I saw the video and I was like, oh shoot, let me try to get this in here right quick. And I was like trying to because it's a people don't understand like this is like a whole like process, like putting things up and like doing this whole multimedia
It is.
whatever like to take a video from like a phone and then get it, where it can play on the internet and on TV and have to cut it, you have to like do so many different things. It's like at least like 4 different steps you got to go through to get there. So I was doing that in the
But hey,
background.
y'all.
But hey,
Hey,
y'all, but
y'all.
we here. I was
Hey,
doing that in the
y'all.
background while the countdown was going down. I'm like, I see the countdown going down. And I'm like, oh shoot, let me get out here. And yeah, so but I was able to get that in. So yeah, I know Laverne is coming, so now my screen's on. Okay, I don't feel so
Yes.
ghetto now.
Yes. Yes.
Laverne is coming. I didn't even center myself. Let me like, oh, this way. I always. Oh, y'all probably can't even hear me good anyway because the daggone mic
We
was
can
in my
hear you.
face.
Actually, we can hear you this show. We can hear
Okay,
you
okay,
good.
okay,
Really
good.
good.
Thank
Really good.
God, because like y'all don't understand the technicals would be killing me. Like the technical shit is really like that's the stuff that like really just hurts my heart when the technicals are not right. So yeah, I mean I'm still
But it
learning and
sounds
growing and
great.
doing,
Your
but
mic sounds great. Your
as
mic
long as I
sounds
sound
excellent.
good, good. Well, we have a bevy of things. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the video that you sent me. Actually, it is from with Candace Owens. Is receiving high praise from a very unlikely source. It seems.
Very, very.
D.L. Hughley of all people. If you don't know D.L. Hughley, he is the only black comedian who had a corny family TV show in the '90s. He's the only one. The only one.
What
At
was
an
the name of that
about
show?
the Hugleys, and it was terrible.
The
Remember, it was
Hughley.
him and that
That's what
girl,
I never watched it.
and that girl was the mother. The girl who was the mother on All of Us with Will Smith. Not the girl that was married to the guy that was the president of Barbados. The other one, Elise Neal. Elise Neal. So it was Elise Neal and D.L.
Okay.
Hughley, and it was called the Hugleys. It was like on UPN, and it was so terrible and corny. And it's like if you were a black comedian, you couldn't lose with a family sitcom in the '90s from Cosby on down. You know
Right.
what I mean? But he had the only
Right.
corny family sitcom by a black comedian in the '90s, D.L. Hughley. He is an avowed Trump hater. He's actually about to go on tour with Don Lemon, let me let y'all know what this tour is called. Like, you're not ready for the name of this tour. You'll never guess what this tour is called, and this is a real ass. So this is real. Like, this is not like fake. Like, this is like a real
No,
thing.
it's real.
It's real. Okay, so the Don Lemon D.L. Hughley tour is called the DLDL tour. And mind you, Don Lemon is not DL. I mean, he's quite an open gay man, but it's just crazy that these two will go on tour
But
with this
DL
like
is DL.
DL, right? But DL, well, according to Monique said that DL was DL. Because Monique has been having a feud with him for years, and I'm Team Monique. I love Monique. Monique was
Me
born the
too.
same day as
Momo.
my
Mo.
mother, December 11th. They both were born the same day, so I love Monique. I always have loved Monique. So I'm Team Monique, on most things. So yeah. So if you're not sure who D.L. Hughley is, that's who he is. But him being such an avowed Trump hater, and he is a TDS. I mean, this man had terminal TDS. So for him
Truly.
to give such high praise to Candace Owens, following her debate with that guy, Andrew. What's his name? Andrew something. The white
We don't
guy.
even need to.
I don't
He's
even
such a
know. I don't even
disgrace.
know
He's
what the
such a
point
disgrace.
of
Andrew
that
Colvett.
was.
So
I
his name
mean,
is Andrew Colvett. So
we didn't talk
anyway,
about the interview. We didn't talk about the debate, did
we
we? We didn't
never
talk.
did because I was
Okay,
in
so
Copenhagen and Shanghai
okay,
and
okay,
yeah.
so before we get forward into DL video, we'll talk about that a little bit. But definitely, I would say like the debate left a lot to be desired for me because I thought that they were going to really get into like the nuts and bolts of the things that she was saying, and you've been following her, the things she's been saying, and then the things that Turning Point or just aka the government is saying. It really wasn't that. It kind of devolved into like all this like personal sniping and stuff, which I didn't like. Um, so there was that. It got to a lot of name calling. There's a part where he tried to call her retarded or saying that Erica Kirk was retarded, women are retarded. It's like this is not like red pill, bro hour. We're trying to get to like an understanding. And I feel like if you came in and you were like a Candace person, you were obviously kind of like on our side, kind of like, Team Candace and this whole thing. Nothing really changed for you. I mean, I was open. If they were going to show something of the government that made sense to me, that would explain why they paved over the crime scene after like 4 days on a random Sunday. Like, why would we do that? If they were
It was
able
the
to explain,
next day.
right. If they were able to
you
just
know.
explain, just put that together, because I don't have a dog I don't have a dog in the race with Charlie Kirk. You know what I mean? Like I don't know the man. I met him one time. I was never involved with Turning Points. I'm not involved with these people. I'm literally just like a guy, just bystanding watching. So I wish he would have came with that, and it just wasn't that. It was just like more. It was like Twitter live, basically. Like this was the same shit y'all do on X as like y'all did it at this thing. And I mean, Candace, get your bag. He paid her $300,000. I mean, I'm not mad at her for that money. Get your money.
Right.
But you'd
Right.
think if you were going to pay that much money, or allegedly Turning Point gave him all this money to pay her, that they would have done a better job of like presenting their argument. It's just like, well, if you don't believe us, then you hate God, you hate Charlie, conspiracy theorist, and like, Candace is a bad person. It's like, okay, that what I mean? We knew how y'all felt. That was the way it was coming in. So I just feel like coming in, going out, there really was no change. If you were not a person who didn't know anything about this story, who just coming in green off the street, there was nothing there that was really edifying for you or educational. And that to me was the saddest thing. There are people who saying that Candace lost because it's like she didn't really, explain her stuff or explain her theories much, but I just felt like it never really got there. And there are people saying that Andrew lost because Andrew didn't say anything. He didn't come with anything, but just like, you're an idiot. Like he was a freaking idiot. So, I mean, I definitely think that Candace won if there was something to be won, but I really think that the big loser was the audience, because the audience really got nothing from it. It was kind of sad. It was really a waste of time, to be honest.
I think what the audience did get. Am I echoing?
No, not really, but I see how it may feel like you could sound like that, but no, it
Okay,
sounds fine.
so I think what the audience did get was the actual preparation levels between both Candace and Andrew. I think that it was beyond a shadow of a doubt who was prepared and who was just trying to get through the conversation. What I didn't like is that it was heavily scripted and controlled. They were bound to these points, these clips, couldn't go outside of what both parties had agreed to cover during the debate. I thought it was more of a conversation, but it was already structured. Where I thought Candace did win was she was able to interject the question of, do you even know what this, since you say that this evidence is beyond a shadow of a doubt, do you even know what this man is being charged with, since you care so much about Charlie and you are so involved in this case? Do you even know what he's being charged with? And to see him fiddle and fumble and shake and twitch, because there's nothing more obvious when the cat gets caught, is when somebody asks you a question that you have spent the last year, the last 11 months saying, I know everything about this case. This didn't happen. I'm for sure the evidence is overwhelming. And so when Candace actually interjected the 7 charges when there were 2 charges that were duplicate charges,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and the charge that he assumed that he knew wasn't even a charge,
It
I
was
thought
murder versus aggravated murder
aggravated
because he's
murder. And
actually
I think that really was the turning point, because
yeah,
I really think that I was wanting Andrew to come in and state the case for TPUSA.
yeah,
That's what I was really waiting for. I'm like, you know what? If he's going to come, they're going to pay this money. At least they're going to be able to state their case and break it down. It was already pre-organized and preordained. So he couldn't even do that. And so that's
right.
still, like you said, did we get anything that was like a blinking light? No, we didn't get anything, but we did get who won the debate as far as debates are supposed to be judged.
Well,
And
D.L. Hughley, he seems to agree with you. So before we continue, let me
right.
just throw the D.L. Hughley video in here. Hold on one sec.
Candace Owens eviscerated that. What she has shown, it was a intelligent black woman against a white mediocrity personified, and she mopped the floor with him. She's a very bright woman, and it was clearly the type of intelligence, poise. If she used her powers for good, she
I
would
was
be.
just about to say that.
If she's
home,
everything
Candace.
Andrew Tatum ain't.
Come on.
I mean, Officer
Brandon,
Tatum, she's
yeah.
everything Brandon Tatum ain't. She's well spoken, well studied, articulate. She lies so well. She's so brilliant. You know what? She's the brochure at a shitty hotel. You know what?
So
Now, the only part where I disagree is where he tried to make it all like racial. Like, and I hate when they do that. My thing is like, she won the debate not because she was a black woman or she's eviscerating a white boy. She
right.
just came with better points, was better studied, better prepared. And I think anybody in that position, whether they be black, white, yellow, Inuit, Indian, whoever, doesn't matter, they would have won being in that position. So I just hate when and that's what the
as you
wokies
see,
don't realize when they do that.
I didn't describe that any way close to
Right.
what DL did.
Right.
And he's mistaken, because he's also not prepared when he talks about Candace, because Candace is doing good by trying to get to the bottom of who murdered her mentor, her friend, her business partner. So I think, again, we see the race aspect come in, and it deteriorates the good that was actually naturally there. It was nobody
And it
needed to touch it.
cheapens her because
Exactly.
her achievement is her achievement no matter what
Exactly.
color she is.
That's it. That's it.
So why would you try to cheapen it or make it? But that's what he does because he's a race hustler. So of course he's going to find the first thing he said was she eviscerated that white boy. Mind you, she's defending another white boy that you say that you hate so much.
Totally
So
skipped that part.
You hate Charlie Kirk with every fiber of your being, and she's defending him, and she's been his biggest defender. Yet, because she's eviscerating another white man, you kind of get that point off on the Wokey Woke podcast or whatever. Then that's what you say. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I appreciate it, but it's just D.L. Hughley is still a fucking cornball to me. He's always going to be a cornball to me. And
I feel
this
like he
politics
has
thing,
no
because he
nerve.
can't sell a comedy tour nowhere, he got to go out here with Don Lemon, and this is how he's relevant. I mean, get your money. I'm not mad, but clearly Def Comedy Jam ain't calling you. Clearly Netflix ain't calling you. Clearly the comedy thing is done. So now you got to do this quasi-political wokey bullshit with Don Lemon, who's another, washed-up loser. But it's just like, who's married to a white man, which that's what kills me about all of this. All of this.
Right.
Like, at least D.L. Hughley, I believe, is married to a black woman. You can't do all this anti-white, wokey-woke bullshit and be married to a white man. Not even a white woman. You're married to a white man. White man is enemy number one. Yet that's what you go home to every night. It's just like, this is why I just can't do the woke thing. Like, this is like, y'all are such hypocrites. It makes no sense to me. How is Don Lemon, a leader of Wokistan, married to a white man? How does that work?
Not Wokistan.
That should be disqualifying. You know what I mean? This is the emperor of Blackistan, yet he goes home to a white man. How does that work?
It's the DLDL.
Clearly, I like that.
It's the
That to me is like
DLDL because I'm
absolutely,
confused.
positively nuts. Well, since we're on politics, did you see last night? Did you see El Sayed go on Jesse Waters last night? Well, you don't really watch Fox that
I
much,
don't
do you?
watch television at all.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I do tend to watch television while I'm out working. And yeah, let me just it was pretty much a dumpster fire like you would think. But the one clip that's gone viral, and I'm glad you didn't see it, so we can have a fresh
Okay.
perspective on it. When I saw this, I was just like, my thoughts on El Sayed in general, I would say I don't think he's winning that seat in Michigan. I think that they kind of got a little bit over their skis there. I think they're kind of forgetting about like the Upper Peninsula, and they're forgetting about the fact that a lot of Michigan is very rural and is bigger than Dearborn and Detroit. And I think that one of the most misguided things that DSA people keep doing is you cannot run these people for statewide seats.
Right.
Sorry, it's not. It's
Right.
you're too radical to be. You can do that in a house district because it's compact. You can do it in a mayor, type of thing, city council, possibly even a county thing. But it's just when you have to run against a Republican, especially a Republican that's not like crazy, crazy MAGA, crazy, crazy, type of person. They can put that sort of thing on. Mike
Right.
Barr just kind of like milk toast, middle of the road. Nobody even knows anything about him, which is probably the best thing about him, that he's just kind of so boring and not known and doesn't have much of a name to it. And then
Okay.
you're like, Hassan Piker's friend guy, and then you're doing all this crazy stuff. I think that the DSA is just not ready for prime time. I think that Bernie is a snake, and I've always thought Bernie was a snake, and I think that Bernie is going to sell them out when it's time for the general election, and they're like, okay, we have to stop doing this radical shit because we have like a real Republican we have to like beat now. I think Bernie's going to sell them out because Bernie always sells them out. It's like, y'all don't see that? Bernie sells you out every time. Like, y'all don't see that. Bernie's done this twice already. And they're
Well,
still
Bernie
trying to
gets
be
sold
underneath.
out every time as
Every
well.
time Bernie sold the DSA people out. So it's just like y'all are still running under. AOC is already doing it. You saw the woke one comments or whatever. She's already trying to pivot to the middle. So it's just like, I think they're getting over their skis. These people are very excited. Michigan has a lot of college towns. They put these people up in these primaries. But I really don't think, with all that they're putting behind El Sayed, I don't see a win for him, and I don't see a win for the other chick in Florida, the black chick. The black, like she's not winning.
No.
In Florida. Like, are you crazy? You know what I mean? Like, it's like they don't look at, and I understand that, you get excited behind these people, and the Democrat establishment is like, I would say Democrat establishment is probably dirtier than the Republican establishment, if that's even possible. So I understand why the
they're
DSA
both
and the young
pure
people
mud.
want to get rid of these people. I get it. I understand. I get it. I do, because I was a Bernie person too back in the day. So I have a kinship, and I understand. But these people are not ready for prime time, and El Sayed is not winning a statewide election in Michigan, and this video here is why. So let's take a look at it, and I want to get your commentary on it when we're on the other side.
Okay.
Sex changes for minors. Do you support that?
Look, I remember having great conversations with my conservative friends about right-to-try legislation. The idea that the government shouldn't tell you what kind of health care you should have. I just think the government shouldn't tell you what kind of health care you should have. And if you're a minor, it's between
You want to
your
try
doctor
on
and your
kids?
parent. Now, if you disagree with that, if you disagree that healthcare decisions need to be made by a doctor and their parents and a patient, then we think we agree to disagree. But you want to put government inside.
So,
a
Abdul,
clinic
you're
or
a doctor,
hospital
right?
Selectively. I am.
So you think it's okay for a parent to slash his kid's thing-a-ling off? You think that's okay?
I mean, do you really want to have this conversation? Are you circumcised?
Yeah, but that's a
Jesse,
personal question.
Okay,
doctor.
So you probably should want to move on.
And circumcision's different than castration.
I think it's a problem. It's a problem that you think that you get to decide what happens between a parent, a doctor, and a patient. And I'm just saying that, yes, circumcision is surgery on a kid's ding-a-ling. So if you really want to bring that up, you can. I just think you guys are really selective about how you want to talk about these things.
Abdul, Michigan's not going for that. That is sick stuff. Boys playing in girls' sports.
I'm not advocating anything. I'm just saying.
What about that?
So the question, again, like Jesse, you have not asked me one time about the issues that people actually care about in Michigan.
Well. So that was live yesterday at the 8 p.m. hour, Fox News. I also collectively gasped a little bit as well because I was watching that. But yeah, I think that the reason why he's going on Fox is because he's obviously he's pretty desperate. He is the nominee now. So this is not playtime. This is not, cutesy playtime with Hassan Piker. You're the nominee now. And you have to appeal to real people outside of the colleges, outside of the events, outside of the streaming world. Like now you have to be a big boy. So I think the reason why he went on Fox is because obviously they have a lot of a reach. It's a Midwestern audience, and there are a lot of Democrats who actually do watch Fox. Actually, that they found with like studies and things like that. So obviously it's the biggest primetime cable show. I would say that show probably gets at least maybe like 2 million people a night, maybe more. So I see why he did it, but it also was a sign that there's a little bit of desperation there because you can't just go with the wild, crazy. Now, I will say
I don't think that's it because I watched him and he wasn't properly prepared. So you can go on these networks. You just have to be able to quickly pivot back to your agenda.
He tried to do that a lot.
But he did it late. He didn't understand. All he had to do was say, I don't advocate for anything that stands in between a doctor, a parent, and the patient, and pivoted and said everything on his behalf every single time after that, no matter how Jesse came back. So that was just poor media training. Not that he didn't know what he wanted to do and what he wanted to avoid. He just didn't understand how to take control of the interview and push his agenda, as opposed, there's a way to answer each one of these questions that they're trying to get a gotcha moment from. And you never give them a gotcha.
Got it.
And they, and so that is really his fault. You can do all of these stations knowing that they're going to throw the book at you, but you have to be able to quickly interject and turn around.
That's the thing. I think that he's not prepared because ultimately, I don't think this is the type of media that Democrats want to have to do. But he's in a situation where your back is against the wall. This is not California, so you can't do like what Kamala Harris and Gavin Newsom do. They can just slide on the the liberal networks and be totally fine.
You know what? Michigan is one of those tricky states.
It is.
So I will not count him out because he just needs another slide in a different way to catapult whatever loss he may have acquired during this Fox interview. But Michigan is one of the most trickiest states out there. And so I'm not for him. I'm not against him. I haven't really done any research on him, but he's probably most definitely more well-spoken than his opposition. He's smarter than his opposition. He just is poorly trained, especially with him.
Well, I do have a video because I covered this on my last pod. I have the video available. Let me show actually, because this is the thing. So as far as opposition, his name is Mike Rogers. There is a whole push now in Michigan where there are like these Democrats for Mike Rogers, which has become a thing. A lot of people feel that his policies are a little bit too extreme for them. That's why I'm saying it's not looking very good. Let me find the Mike Rogers video, and his video is very conciliatory, which is good. You got to definitely strike that middle ground. Yeah, that's from last pod. Yes, here it is. I'm organizing things on my computer now, so I can just like find things, and I organize every show has like a folder, so I can just like pull things. So one show, the other show. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get organized here. So this is Democrats for Mike Rogers. Let's take a look.
Democrat voters who feel their nominee doesn't represent them in their values, all hope is not lost. I'm not asking you to be a Republican. I'm asking you for the opportunity to earn your trust. Michigan deserves a senator who will sit down whether you voted for me or not, will listen to you, will treat you with respect, will represent everybody. There are real differences in this race. I spent my career serving the country and taking on terrorists and criminals and threats to our national security. I believe in safe communities, a strong America, and protecting our freedoms. Abdul El-Sayed and I have very different visions of Michigan and America. But we're going to have plenty of time to talk about that along the campaign trail. Today is about what brings us together. Great schools for our kids, safe neighborhoods, good paying jobs, affordable homes, keeping our kids and grandkids in Michigan a government that reminds us and remembers us, and that it works for us.
So very conciliatory. The black lady behind him, nice touch, nice touch. And also too, the other thing else SAYED has against him, the blacks aren't really rocking with him either in Michigan. He's got a real black problem right now. And so it's like you don't have the blacks, you don't have the establishment.
He has every opportunity to go and gain the black audience. Now, so this is well, but this is the thing. Those things can be done in a week. You make the right partnerships, have the right conversations with the right people, then they rally. All he needs to do is hit the black churches. If you get the minister of every church, then you will get the congregation. And this is what politicians have been doing forever. And that's every politician. That white guy ain't going to be able to go into the black churches. Nobody's going to listen to him. They will listen to SAYED before they listen to him. What needs to be done is the numbers. So his jurisdiction, and because everybody is going to come out and vote for him in his jurisdiction. This is a numbers game. And I believe he's smart. I believe he is smart. You calcify the numbers, what this gentleman has over here, what I have already here, and what I can grab. 98% of his jurisdiction is going to come out and vote for him. All them people ain't coming out to, white people don't vote in these type of situations. They just don't. They vote in generals.
He's endorsed by Trump.
It doesn't matter anymore.
They've been pushing him, and Trump just
it doesn't matter anymore.
So I still do not see it at all for El Sayed.
He needs to make sure his voting machines in his district are watched like a hawk. That's what he needs to watch, because from an outsider, not knowing anything about him, seeing one interview of him, seeing just some past of, him winning his primaries, he's somebody that's dangerous. If the numbers match up and he can get the gains that he need in districts that nobody's paying attention to, they're going to have to watch the voting machines, because they're going to have to cheat somebody like him, because he's too dangerous. They don't know, he could do a whole lot of things real fast and then be surprised. And I know this because I've been campaign manager for congressional candidates. I know how this works. He actually has a real shot. He just has to think about it differently. He has to get in the street where this Mr. Roberts won't go. And it's all won in the streets and at the voting machines, making sure you're getting your proper amount of votes. That's the play right now in every election. Byron Donalds, they even cheated for Byron Donalds. Byron Donalds was not a sure win in Florida. These are the things that we need to, no election is safe. So the key is go where they won't go, win the streets, get your jurisdictions and your district on lock, and watch your voting machines. That's the game. That's the game. Trump learned from, like I say again, Brian Kemp, the godfather of all stolen elections in the 2000s. Brian Kemp started it all. Trump learned, once he got cheated, Trump learned how to cheat. Everybody's cheating. So the game is win in the streets, the places they won't go, because they're trying to tally with the voting machines. That's the key to winning, making sure you grab your district. He's going to grab 98% of all his, they coming out. They can pander all of this, terrorism and so on. This man is a doctor. This man is not a terrorist. This man is a doctor. More intelligent, 10 times more intelligent than his opponent. Spent more time in school than his opponent. Have saved more lives than his opponent. His opponent has to say, I spent my life serving this country. So did my brother. And this U.S. military poisoned him and 59 other soldiers in his infantry, and they all went AWOL. So it's not like it's a game and you got to play dirtier than your competitor. It doesn't matter if Trump endorsed him anymore. He's going to get 98% of his district, and that's how many people. So when you do the numbers games and you watch and you hit the street and then you watch your voting machines, that's the win. So there's no candidate out here that is as smart as him, has a following like him, that's completely written off. Like, they would have to cheat somebody like him. And that's what you watch for.
SAYED's definitely not winning Michigan. It's not happening.
You
Not
know
happening.
what? You
It's
know
not
what?
happening. Like it's not happening.
Were
Like, it's
you
not,
not? Were you
he's
not the
way too
person
far
2
out. He's
weeks?
way too
Were
far
you
out of the
not the
Overton
person
window.
2 weeks
Now, if
ago
that
saying
lady
you wanted
had one
Al-Sayed?
that he was going against, I would say that she had a much better chance. The establishment chick, I forgot her name, with the funny voice that he beat out. But he's way too far out the Overton window. Way too far. Like
You
again, you
were
can
the
be
one
very
3 weeks
popular on one
ago,
side,
Benji.
but he's not
Weren't
doing
you
well with
cheering for him?
independents.
Weren't
What's
you just
that?
cheering for him 3 weeks ago? Wasn't that you that was like, yes, go Saeed? That was
Oh, I
you.
wanted him to win, yes, because
That
I
was
because I know
you.
he's going to lose the general. That's why I wanted him to win. Oh, I wanted him to win. This is what I wanted. Oh no, this is what I wanted. I'm just giving him smart advice. Oh no, I wanted him to win. Yes, I said I wanted SAYED to win because I know he's going to lose the general, and that's a seat that's because remember, Michigan wouldn't just be a keep; that'd be a pickup for the Republicans. Oh, I wanted him to win because I know he's going to lose the general. Like that's why I was like, yes, SAYED. I wanted all the Democrats. That's why even like Chuck Schumer is upset because he knows Chuck Schumer is a wrap for you. It's a wrap for you. You're going to lose a seat, and they're going to want to get rid. They're already trying to get rid of him anyway. So they really if they lose any seats in the Senate, they're going to get rid of Chuck Schumer as their leader. And if AOC decides she wants to run for Chuck Schumer's seat, he's done. So he better hope she runs for president. He better hope she runs, because if AOC runs for senator in New York, she's going to win. That seat's as good as hers in New York. Good as hers in New York. Chuck Schumer better hope and pray that AOC decides that she wants to run for president, because she's got that seat in New York easy. She's pivoting. She's already moving out of, woke one was crazy. She done got rid of that white boy and freezing her eggs. She's on Hillary Clinton shit. Like AOC is about that life. I think she's definitely going to run for president, but if she decided not to, that Senate seat is hers in New York. It's done.
Did she say she froze her eggs?
Yes, there was a video. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, we can talk about this. Okay, good, because I wanted to talk about this last week and we didn't. Okay, let me find this video. But yes, there is a video of AOC. Hold on. Yes, there is.
God. Oh my God. Oh
yes,
my
there
God.
is a video of AOC. She got rid of that white guy that she's with, the white boy that she was with. I forgot his name. She broke up with him.
No, they made her break up with him.
She
She's
broke
like,
up with him.
we've got plans for you, but he can't
She's on her
tag
Hillary
along.
Clinton shit. And I definitely think she's running for president, which is, like I said, which is good news for Chuck Schumer. He may have a shot, maybe. He's probably still won't, but all right, let's take a look at AOC. So AOC put this video up of her. She's doing, like, I guess, shots or whatever you got to do hormonally for the egg situation. And she's showing that she's like bloating, and this video went viral all over X a couple of days ago.
Don't be weird. Pretty good, pretty good. And this bloating is before even the trigger shot.
So yeah, that's her. There's something, I guess, with the shots and the bloating. You gotta like do, whatever the therapy is or whatever. But yeah, she's doing that. She dropped her boyfriend, and she had the redhead guy she was with for a long time. She dropped him. So I definitely think she's getting ready for a run for president. But even she has been in the game for a while. She's toned down. She did the whole thing about woke one. She realizes that if you're going to win and go for higher office, you have to pivot and move toward the center. The thing with SAYED, and the reason why with all of his smarts and all the razzle dazzle and all that stuff, and why he's not going to win, is because he's just way too far left. He's way too far to left, and that he's not going to have time to reform that. And he's already got a black problem. Who is the emperor of the blacks. Said not to vote for him. What's his name? Clyburn in South Carolina. So, he's got that, because all the black people went for the lady that ran against him. I forgot the lady's name. She had a really, really deep, like Michigan, like West, Midwestern accent. She's
But
he's way out of the Overton window.
The right relationship, if he pulls her and her following over, if he makes a deal with her, this is why I say politics.
They've already done like a little, like a unity thing or whatever, but it's just not, but it's not helping him though in the polls, unfortunately. Like he's like, that's why I said I just don't see it. I don't see him pulling off that win in Michigan.
He should call me. I could fix his
I don't see him doing that at this point, which is
should
fine.
call
That's why I wanted him to win. And in Florida too, I don't know if you've seen this lady down there, the natural hair lady. This girl, what's her name? Nixon. Do I have my paper from the other show? I'm printing out
Nick's.
papers for shows now. I'm so fancy.
Isn't that fabulous? I love
Angie
the
Nixon. Angie
organization.
Nixon. This is
Okay.
from the Saturday show. That's why this is. We talked about her on Saturday. Yeah, she's like, they're scared of me because I'm a black woman with my natural hair. And you think you're gonna win a Senate seat in Florida? Really?
No,
You think that's happening for you? Really? No, it's not
I
happening
don't
for
know.
you.
I don't know. I think the whole black woman hair thing has just given women another excuse to claim racism because we love your black natural hair, and white people love it too. They ask you to touch it all the time.
And you
They
tell them,
love your
no,
hair.
don't touch my
Just
hair.
don't touch my hair. I'm not a petting zoo. It's
Right,
so
right.
you
It's
know
like
what I'm saying? Like
reparation.
it's
I mean,
like
I mean, no, I mean, it's like Juneteenth. It's like y'all say white people don't celebrate Juneteenth, then y'all be like, why white people don't celebrate Juneteenth? Which one is it, guys? Like,
which
which one
one
is
is
it? Like, you
it?
guys gotta make
Which
a
one is
decision,
it?
guys.
Which one
Like,
is
what's
it?
up?
It's not, you can politely say, boundaries. And I think
Right,
white people will,
boundaries.
boundaries, and white people will respect those boundaries. Hey,
Hey,
Laverne,
Vern, what's going
Hey
on?
y'all.
how you
Hey.
doing?
That's
Ooh,
good.
well, the God made it so you made another day. So I'm sure you're going to
Girl,
let
I'm
everybody
great.
know.
I'm grateful.
Yes,
I
we
am
have to
we,
talk
so
about
grateful.
that. So,
we
you
have to
guys,
talk.
So grateful.
yeah, we have to talk about that. Hold on
Go
one
ahead,
second.
Laverne. Tell the
Could you?
good people of the Hood
Could,
Conservative Podcast what you have just gone through.
let me pull up the video. So,
Yeah, let
Laverne
her pull out
sent,
the video because
huh? I got
no,
the
go ahead,
video.
man.
I got the video. Hold on, let me get it ready. But yeah, I got the video. So yeah, Laverne sent me this video this morning. Where the heck is the daggone video? Hold up. Let me
So
send
are
it to
you
myself.
okay, Laverne? How are you feeling?
A little sore, kind of
When did this
woozy
happen?
Sunday.
Okay, so Laverne was involved in a car accident on Sunday, and she sent me the video. Hold on, I'm trying to get the video. I'm about to text it to myself.
It actually made local news. So
Yeah, it
it was
did.
it was one of those
Where
big
where was it
ones.
at? Where
It
was
was
it
in
at?
it was in Miami-Dade.
Wow.
I like on 117th, Laverne.
Oh, oh, you got the what you call it? You got the news. You got the news article.
Yeah, I watched the news clip. I saw
Oh,
the
send it to
whole
me. Send it. Text it to me, because I
Laverne
can I
sent
can
it
show
to
everybody.
you.
I
Huh?
Laverne
texted
sent
it
it
to
to
you.
you. You have it. It's in the
No,
thread.
no, I have the video. I don't have the
No,
news clip, and I have the video.
it's in the same
It's in
thread.
there. Okay, hold
Yeah,
up.
it's in the same thread.
Yeah, you just got to stroll up sometime and
Oh,
see.
okay. It didn't show as a thing. Okay, that's why I
Oh,
didn't see it. Oh, my bad. Damn, I would have had this ready. Okay, hold on.
I haven't recent.
But let
I
me take
just
the
So
video
we're
that you.
we're we're really grateful that you are still here with us after all
oh,
of that
by the
because
grace of God.
So tell us. So as I
I
get the
looked
video
at
together, tell us what happened.
Okay, so Sunday I was out and we was meeting up to get together and do some work, me and my crew. And I was approaching 103rd and 17. So I was only doing I wasn't even I was probably going maybe about 20 just rolling along because the light had just changed. And I saw a car coming and the lady was going about 100. She was doing about 100.
Oh my
Um
God.
and so when I saw the car, I'm just thinking, God, please let this lady stop at this red light. But she ran the red light. She probably was doing over 100 and she ran the red light. So when she ran the red light, she hit the van. The van was keeping straight. Our light was green to go in our direction. So she T-boned the van. The van spun around, went flying through the air, and it hit me. So it was horrible. It was quick. It was very, very frightening. And the lady, they had to cut her out of the car with the jaws of life, and they knocked all the windows out of the vehicle. I don't know if she made it or not. I really don't think that lady made it, but prayers up for the family or whatever. But I don't think she made it because that was horrific. It was really terrifying. Um, accident.
Did you go to the hospital?
Yeah, I went to the hospital. So I'm having pains like in my shoulder, neck, my thighs and legs, from that hit. But the guy that ran into me, he went to the hospital like soon as the paramedics showed up because he was in really bad shape. I think he was kind of traumatized as well. And the lady, I don't know what happened to her, but I know when they pulled her out of the vehicle, she the only thing moving was her eyes. She her neck was like really severely cut, and her face was like swollen because her airbag came out, and it was really bad, really really bad.
Oh wow.
So I just want to thank my Savior and Lord for allowing me to see another day, even after going through that very traumatizing event. I'm good. Just glad to be here.
Well, we're glad you're here for sure.
Amen.
You know, because
Amen. Thank God
I
for that.
saw the car, and I was like, wow. Like, without even, because the news didn't even know what really happened. They just really showed the damage and how the
Right.
traffic was blocked off for like 4 hours, which is, that's a
That's a
lot,
lot.
Five,
you
about
know.
5 or longer, you know.
So,
Um, yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. I have the video here. Hold on. I'm gonna show I guess we'll show the news video first. Okay, let me put the news video up.
All right, Byron, thank you for that update. And developing now, 3 people are in the hospital after a 3-car crash in Northwest Miami-Dade.
We have Local 10's Brett Neese. He's live at the scene. Brett, tell us what's happened.
Well, traffic back open right now, but this intersection here behind me closed down for several hours while investigators work to figure out how all of this took place. A Sunday afternoon changing in an instant for 3 different drivers in Northwest Miami-Dade. The 3 cars colliding at this intersection, Northwest 103rd Street and 17th Avenue. It happened around noon. You can see a lot of front end damage to this car while 2 others are off to the side. Officials say several people were hurt. One of them was rushed to a trauma center. The others were taken to a different hospital. Investigators spent several hours at this intersection working to determine how the crash happened and who may be at fault. Eventually, a tow truck showed up to remove the cars from the road and reopen it to traffic. And tonight we are working to learn more information about all of those victims that were taken to the hospital, especially that trauma patient. As soon as we get some more details, of course, we will pass those along both on air and online. Live in Northwest Miami-Dade, Brett Neese, Local 10 News.
Okay, so we have that, and then we have your video. Hold on, this is your video that you sent me.
when you park it.
Okay, so what are we looking at in that video?
Well, that's the lady's car that ran that red light.
Okay.
So I don't know if she was having a medical situation. I don't know if she was upset because people. I'm gonna put this on out there. A lot of time with women, men, you have arguments with your significant other. Then you go for a drive, and your mind is some focus on the road. Your mind is some focus on the traffic. It's not focused on the red light or green light. You just, you're just frustrated about the argument you just have, and you're not paying attention to the road. So a lot of times, this is how these type of accidents happen because people are not focused. They're not watching the road. They're looking at other things beside paying attention to the lights and what is taking place. So that's why, once again, it's so important to watch your environment. I mean, I was watching the road. I saw that lady approaching, but at the speed that car was going, I was just praying that, that she would stop, or at least try to stop. She went straight through the light. And I don't know if the guy in the white van, I don't even know if he saw her before he started you know, moving. I don't know if he saw her, but either way, he got sideswiped and T-boned. And I was watching it, but I was praying that, you know, the van was not going to hit me because he was just spiraling, kind of like airborne. And next thing I know, boom, he got me. And like I said, all of us are in pain. You know, I don't like, they said that they was trying to resuscitate that lady. They didn't do any updates on her, but the officers did say for those type of accidents, the person usually don't make it.
Mm.
But I know myself, I was in severe pain. My shoulders, my back, my neck, my ankles, everything. So, you know, I can only imagine what that poor young man that was driving that van, you know, was feeling because he was really shaking and, you know, because accidents just happen so fast. It's
Mm-hmm.
amazing how things happen so fast like that. And sometimes when it happened, you know, you don't even remember exactly what happened. You know, you can't remember which direction nobody went in or what was going on, but I remember what took place, you know. But it was just a tragedy. And
Wow.
unfortunately, accidents do happen. So,
Right. Well, I don't know if that was an accident, but we're just glad that you are here
yeah.
because anybody going 100 and some odd miles an hour is not going 100 and some odd miles an hour accidentally.
Yeah.
So we're just glad that you survived that person's malice because that is what you all are feeling right now. You're feeling the after effects of somebody else's decisions. And
Yeah.
so we are really glad that you are here to tell us about it and that you remember because I'm sure the gentleman probably doesn't remember because she was coming so fast. And so to get hit in that manner, where you don't even know where it's coming from, you know, no pre-warning. And so you actually saw it happening. Um, so which gave you a little bit of time to prepare mentally.
Yeah,
He
I
didn't
did.
even,
I prepared mentally. I
you
tried to
know,
prepare myself physically, you know,
right,
as much or as well as I could. And I tried to brace myself for that hit because I knew
right,
it was coming, you know,
coming,
when that,
right,
you
right.
know, oof.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, yeah. Well, I'm definitely glad. We're thank God that you are here. But I am glad that you are here. And now that you are here, um, hold on. Now that you are here, I did want to lighten the room up. I wanted to ask a question. It's the same question that I believe the Isley brothers asked years ago. Who's that lady?
All right.
Who's
Who's
that
that
lady?
lady?
Who's that
Who's
sexy lady
that
who
lady?
just went
Sexy
viral
lady.
all over the interwebs with this picture out here? Who that is? I think I know her. I think I know her. Who that is?
Yeah, that's me, Benji. That's me. That's like a few years ago. You know, when people see your pictures, right? Well, definitely not with Travian, but with me. Oh, she's fat. She's this. She's that. You know. So I just put a few of my pictures out to let them know, hey, I haven't always been big, even though my weight fluctuates. And you met me, Benji, so you know I'm not fat at all.
Right. Yeah, you're
You
actually
know,
much smaller in
and
person. I have
Travian,
to.
you
That's
met
the
me
first thing I
already.
said when I first got out the car. The first thing I said was like, "Oh my God, you're so little." That's very. But you got to pop out and show niggas what you can do. Let me
Right.
just pop out of these niggas right quick. Because I
Yeah,
saw that, I was like, okay, like.
sometimes you have to do that. You know, sometimes you have to let people know, you know, hey, I'm not the fat
Facts.
girl you think I am. I could go up, I
Facts.
could go down, you know, whichever way I want to go with the weight, I could do that, you know. So and sometimes you got to take a picture every now and then and say, hey, you know, this is me. This is
Right.
who
Okay,
I am.
you gotta pop out on a nigga right quick. Like, let me just pop out on
Right.
y'all niggas. Like, boom, boom. Let me just show y'all what I got. I mean, Lord knows, I've been. It's crazy because I tend to actually like get fit in the wintertime, and I tend to get fat in the summer. And right now, I'm having a very fat summer. It's my birthday, and I'll be eating, and and I'm still getting like the birthday, like like all the fast food places. I have all the apps, so like they all give you free stuff. I'm still eating free stuff from Freddy's and Waffle House and this and that still. You know what I mean? So I tend to get a little bit more hefty over the summer. I need to probably lose maybe like 10, 12 pounds. I'm at like, honestly, I'm at like 200 right now. My fighting weight is really more like really like 185, I would say. 180 if I'm really feeling real skinny, like 180. But I would say like probably in a perfect world between like 185 around there. So I'm just trying to get back down to around there. I mean, not really. I'm saying that, but I need to try to get back around there.
And
Because
of course,
I love snacks. I like to eat, and I like to try all the. You know when the fast food come out with like the new stuff, I like to try the new stuff. Like, oh, they got a new thing out. Let me try that new thing. They got that new sandwich. Let me get
yeah,
that
them
new
new things
sandwich.
and them new sandwiches is the ones that start getting you, especially when you start liking it. But one thing, and also if you ever met Travian, then of course you know she looks like a Barbie doll. Okay, so just in case you wanted to know, you know.
So you know what I do, since we are on this topic of health and weight. So I spent quite a few days in China, and one of these days I spent 4 hours with my friend and her father, who is a specialist in Chinese medicine. And so she said, "Look, you have to go to my father for acupuncture. You're a runner. This is going to change your life." So I went in, I had the acupuncture. He did all of these different vital checks on me, which didn't cause for anything to be inserted into my body, like feeling different areas in my foot and my hand and
So
my
you didn't do the
knees.
needles?
I did acupuncture, but
Okay,
when
I
he
did
was
it too.
doing,
I've done that one time.
yeah, when he was doing my health assessment, it's more of looking at your eyes and your tongue and feeling different nodules in your neck and underneath your feet. And we got into this long conversation because he actually studied in the US from 1978 to 1985. And he was actually one of the scientists that did the watermelon study, and he found that there is melanin in watermelon.
Oh,
And
you posted about this. I saw
yeah,
that. I saw your post about this.
yeah. And so he was saying, this thing about how Americans make fun of Black people for loving watermelon. He said, but there's a reason, because the watermelon nourishes melanated cells only. So certain people can't get certain nutrients out of the watermelon. And the melanin is actually in the seeds. And the study that he actually orchestrated or was paid to do by our government, the USDA, and he said that after he made all these determinations, that's when the USDA decided to push throwing away the rind and throwing away the seeds, and that Black people can survive on watermelon alone. No other food. What Black people, melanated people, can survive on watermelon alone, between the rind, the seeds, and the flesh. He also made a full health regimen maintenance plan for me, which was specifically for Black women or melanated women. And he went in to discuss how over the last 20 years, supplements and foods have been moving away from providing nutrients for melanated cells. So all of your collagen formulas, Black women need collagen formulas 1, 2, and 3. But if you look at the collagen formulas on the shelf, they're 1, 3, 4, 8, 9, and 10. And so all of these products are being made that don't actually nourish melanated cells properly. And the one thing that he mandated that I add to my diet was tamarind.
Oh, I like
Tamarind will
tamarind. Mhm.
tamarind will decalcify your body from fluoride and poisons that affect your pineal gland, which give you your intuition. And he said, at that point, he said, Black people, melanated people operate on the frequency of 9. Non-melanated people operate on the frequency of 7. And the earth operates on the frequency of 9. And so he said, for 60 days straight, eat tamarind. Rinse your mouth out after you eat it, because it can possibly damage the enamel
Yeah, because
on
it's
your
sour.
teeth.
It's sour. Yeah,
and
it's
and then
sour.
not even that, tamarind can remove like rust on copper, like it by
Wow.
itself. And so that is cleaning out all of these calcified Floridian, you know, growths and, you know, poisons that you've been intaking. And so I can share this regimen. There's so many different things that I've never thought of to take and never thought to add and never knew they did such things for melanated cells.
And you can get all that stuff in the Asian markets too. Like they talk
You
about
can
papaya
you can
seeds.
get it all.
They
You can
kill
get
the
it all.
papaya seeds. They kill like all types of parasites and things like that. And you should try to like
Exactly.
get papaya seeds to eat them whole. And it's
And
been like
eat them
a
whole.
thing. Like people have known this for like thousands of years. That is something that people can do. It's almost like a papaya seed, almost like a vitamin. You know what I mean? Like to really just take the papaya seed and let it just clear out all of
But
the
we also have to look at things that are made for ourselves and things that are not made for ourselves. And all the things that we love have been slowly geared not to nourish ourselves. So even vitamin C formulas, all of these different supplement formulas, they're missing something that allows the nutrients or the vitamins to go into our cells. So he told me if he was me, he would create a complete food line just for Black people. That's what he told me. He told me he would help me do it. He said, but you all have a source of life that is the most powerful thing in the world. He said, it's not money, it's not power, it's not oil, it's not land, it's melanin. And he said, your people are being starved of the things that they need to nourish them to level the playing field. And when you have a man in China tell you this, because he studied here, he studied under the USDA, that's something serious. And so I've really looked into why we don't have a melanated food line, why we aren't taught what foods actually overnourish melanated cells. Because he's like, the earth was built to overnourish melanated cells. It wasn't built, the earth in its natural state wasn't built to give certain nutrients to what he called hybrids, meaning
so
how white people evolved from Black people.
So is a melanated food thing something that you're going to pursue moving
I'm
forward?
already pursuing it. I'm
Okay.
already pursuing it.
Well, speaking of
Congratulations.
Thank
speaking of
you.
one of my favorite melanated people, one of my favorite melanated people actually went on Ted Cruz's podcast this week and
Ah,
said that he don't got to do nothing else but stay black and die. You'll
I
never
that's
guess
right.
who it is.
Well,
Let's
that
take a
was
look.
Ben Carson.
Is that your guess, Ben Carson? Is that your guess? We'll see if you are right. Let's take a look.
Okay, let's see.
Didn't like people saying you have.
Oh, dag on it. Hold on. I'm sorry, Laverne. Up here all sexy. Hold on. Bye, sexy. We'll see you in a minute. Hold
He didn't
on a
like
second.
people saying you have to do this, you have to do that. We had this saying that there are only two things I have to do: stay black and die.
Yeah.
And that was a retort to people who had these sort of requirements for us, these mandates for us because of our skin color. And the thing that's really kind of interesting, it wasn't until later on that people began to say that when I came to this town, one of the greatest difficulties, if you think about it, was that there were those who thought that I should think a certain way.
Yeah.
And the difficulty has been that they said that, oh, you're confused. Well, I'm not confused. You're confused. You confuse me with someone who's been in indentured servitude or something. But at any rate, they think that here's the way you're supposed to think. Again, here's your skin color. There's this kind of deterministic view that you're supposed to think this because we say so. And I, of course, declined that invitation. And so now that means it's something that I'm a walking contradiction because I've deviated from their perception of what I should think. Explain to me how that is different. Here's what I've asked people. I said, when I was a kid, the Savannah Public Library was segregated. I said,
So there you have it. You have one of the most distinguished black people, in our country, somebody who is often not celebrated, at least by black people anyway. But
Right.
he's definitely a hero from conservative circles. I would just love to hear, Clarence Thomas. He doesn't do many interviews, but I do like to see him go on things and just hear what his perspective is outside of many of these court cases and things of that nature. So what do you guys think about Clarence Thomas?
He is one of the other only few people on my checklist to sit down and maybe talk to for 3 minutes. The last person I was able to check off was Colin Powell. Um, I originally thought I wanted to talk to Condoleezza Rice, but I actually ended up changing my mind. But I was able to get a 3 minute conversation with Colin Powell, and that actually helped me understand why he chose the path of servitude that he did, especially during the weapons of mass destruction situation. But I didn't specifically talk to him about that, but he explained to me about how he made the all-out pledge to be of service and work in servitude to this country no matter what. So he kind of answered the questions for me without answering the questions. Now, this man that we just watched this clip, Clarence Thomas is really one of the only other few people that's alive that I actually think I want to have a short conversation with, because I want to see if he feels like Colin Powell felt, because they were very they're very brilliant black men, and they played on a different playing field. They had to learn one field and then merge and interject into another field and then be superior. And so those types of conversations with those types of men are always something that I have to find a way to have a conversation with Clarence Thomas, and I will, just like I found a way to have a conversation with Colin Powell. But there's something inside those types of black men that intrigue me, and I want to ask them an honest question the moment I meet them and see how they respond to me. And I don't think that it's going to be disrespectful. I think it's going to be very intelligent. And sometimes when I ask these questions to these powerful black men, they're surprised at the question.
What you gonna ask?
Why would I tell you? Then it won't be a surprise for him.
Oh, it's a surprise. Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
assuming that Clarence Thomas is
right.
watching our show. Yes, we're
Right.
so sorry, Clarence
Hey,
Thomas.
you never know. You never know.
You never know.
Never know. That's one thing I've learned. People are always watching. And so it's these type of black men that I've built my life on learning from, because I'm a black woman and there's a lot of things that I can teach myself. And then my grandmothers, I think as far as being a black woman, they have been the best teachers. It's very hard to learn real big life lessons from women who aren't older. And so I really think that I have a question for Clarence Thomas. And when I ask these men these questions, they've been dying for a black woman to ask them this. And they talk to me longer than I thought that I had to be able to talk to them. And then the conversation always ends with, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job. And so that's how he's the only other black man on my list that I want to talk to.
Who were the others? You just Colin Powell and him, or?
No, so some of them I've lost respect for over
Okay.
time, so I
Okay.
won't mention
Yeah,
their
things happen.
names.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But Colin Powell, I truly respected, and I have an immense amount of respect for Clarence Thomas, and I do have a question for him. Yeah.
What about you, Laverne? What you got to ask Clarence Thomas? If anything, what are your thoughts on Clarence Thomas?
I don't have nothing to add to nothing. The only thing I can say, I love what he just said, because I use that all the time. When people be like,
Right.
oh, you just gotta do this. I always say I don't have to do nothing but stay black and die. That's
Right.
And I love that he used that. So we do have a couple of comments here. We have a comment from my homie Fa Brown. He says Ben Carson is definitely way better than Ben Crump.
Hell
Absolutely.
yeah.
I mean,
Hell
that's not
yeah.
even. I mean, that goes without
Let
saying.
me just tell y'all. So I was in the lounge at the JW Marriott in LA with Benjamin Crump.
Oh
And
Lord,
when I tell you he has
he
no
was trying to
presence,
holler.
no significance, no presence, kept staring, thought I was going to come over and fan out on his ass. I didn't even talk to him.
I'm not even sure what he looked like for. I mean, if I see pictures of him, I
He's a
guess. But
regular
I
bald head,
more so
ugly
know who
black
he
man.
is, even more than like if I seen
He's
like if I would
ugly.
okay, like Al Sharpton. Obviously, I know who Al Sharpton is. I mean, he is a
Right,
black grift icon. I mean, it's like he's
right,
on the Mount
right,
Rushmore of black grifters. So I would
right.
know Al Sharpton if I seen him. But yeah,
And let me tell you, he
Big
looked like
Crump.
a regular Joe Schmo, ugly, bald head, pitch black man. That's
Oh
what he looked
wow,
like.
ball.
Yeah.
That's another bald head scallywag. And we had another comment from Fi. He says that he loves Clarence Thomas too. Yeah, we definitely
Yeah.
do. Definitely love Clarence Thomas. I just like to see him just when he does interviews. I'd also like to, as far as people I would like to meet, I would want to meet Clarence Thomas, of course, and I would love to meet Thomas Sowell as well. But I know Tom Sowell doesn't talk to like
So
anybody. I've
hold
heard.
on. So you knew that. You knew that. I've been telling y'all, I've been trying to get in touch with Thomas Sowell.
He don't talk to nobody.
Thomas
Like,
Sowell is older now.
yeah, he's like 94.
His children are handling and people are handling his social media. I don't know how, and I left him off the list because I know he's older and he may be confined health wise. And so I kind
I
of
think our only
let that
hope is
low.
if Candace can like get an interview. She's been trying to get an interview with him ever since she's had a show. If she can get an interview with him, that would be like
No, he's
amazing.
not doing it. He's not doing it.
I
He's
know.
not doing it. So I actually took him off the list because I felt like I'm late to the game trying to even get 2 minutes with him.
But I
But
would love to talk to
yeah.
him. I would love to talk to like Shelby Steele. I like Shelby Steele too. I
Mhm.
like to talk to him. Like just men like that. Like people who were conservative back before it was like cool. You know what I mean? I want to be
Right.
able to get their perspective. People who just been on like since back in the day. Like
But it's
pre-Trump,
more for
black
me. It's
conservative.
more for me. It's the black man who's been conservative way before it was cool to be conservative,
That's what I mean. That's what I want to talk to.
but
Yeah.
also but also rose to the top of the conservative, mountain. And
Yeah.
that's something different. You can be conservative. I know a lot of black people who were conservative that before it was cool to be conservative, but to
Mhm.
rise in the ranks and end up here in a lifetime position making rules
And I think
that your
anybody
side over the
who was in a
country.
prior Republican administration before Trump, I would just want to talk to because it was such a different world back then. You know what I mean? Like I would just because like now it's like one thing I can always give Trump as far as like the racial stuff. I feel like as far as that's concerned, he's kind of opened that up for whatever people may say or whatever about black Republicans. He's definitely made it a much more viable and accessible and a bigger thing, post Trump.
Right.
So I would love to talk to anybody who was like an administration, like a Bush administration or a Daddy Bush, going back to Colin Powell, Daddy Bush administration. Like, what was it really like, back in those days being like, a black Republican or just having the ideals and the things that you went through and like what was all that? Like, I would love to ask Clarence Thomas about all the grilling he got from Joe Biden to then have to see Joe
Right.
Biden be like president and like you're at Supreme Court and like, but he ever like do shit where it's like, oh, Biden wants the shit. Fuck that nigga. You know what I mean? I know they have because
Right.
they're human. You know what I mean? So like,
I
how did
know.
he feel as a human seeing Joe Biden be elevated that way, or like what did he think the night that like Joe Biden like lost in that debate with Trump? I mean, where everybody's mouth was just wide open to see that. You know what I mean? Like, did he feel a little bit of Schadenfreude? Just things like that. These are
I mean,
private things I would like to know, obviously, but
so so even me having the time to talk to Herman Cain, who
Herman
has
Cain,
been.
R.I.P.
And so I talked to that man. I gave him his flowers. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska, the home of Godfather's Pizza. That was all Herman Cain,
Mm-hmm.
who they tried to destroy his business, and he
Mm-hmm.
still rose above. And so, yeah, we talked for about 20 minutes. It was at the Trump rally in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
And I thought that was only going to be a 2-minute conversation. And he elongated the conversation and we went back and forth on what I knew about him. And he was surprised about how much I knew about him. But I
Mm-hmm.
had grown up through college. Hey, Herman Cain, the owner of Godfathers, he's a black guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's a conservative. Like I really followed Herman Cain and then
Mm-hmm.
finally
Mm-hmm.
got a chance to sit down and talk to him for 20 minutes. And before, and he died 3 weeks after that. And
Wow.
so the last thing he said to me, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job. You're making us proud. And so I've gotten that response 100 times out of 100, but I really want to talk to Clarence Thomas because I think he's going to be a little bit harder on me for some reason, but I welcome it. But I want to talk to Clarence Thomas. I want to talk to Clarence Thomas.
Okay,
Anybody
well,
out there got any hookup? I want to talk to Clarence Thomas.
speaking of Clarence Thomas, I don't know if y'all can see this fly. I left my window open last night, which I probably shouldn't have done. And like, there's like 2 flies in here. I'm gonna have to buy another fly zapper. I'm a big on the fly zapper. Like,
I've got zappers all
yeah,
over. I
I
don't
can't
play
stand
about bugs
flies.
in my
I can't
house. I don't
stand
play.
flies. Like, they just disgusting. I can't stand them. So anyway, and you think because I'm as high as I am, you wouldn't think that like there'd be bugs up here, but like there are bugs up here. Like, it's so annoying. But anyway, let's move on to, since we're talking about the court, this is something that the court's been deciding on, all this immigration stuff. So the New York Post, I just saw a video yesterday on X as it was interesting us to talk about. The New York Post is doing an expose on child labor with these like illegal immigrants. As you know, the legal immigrants, of course, they're setting up shop everywhere. If you've ever been in New York, you know they're everywhere, all in the subways, they're selling churros and fruit and all kinds of,
Right.
all types of things or whatever. So now it's getting to the point now where they're having children do the work for them, and they're showing how they're like clogging up. I don't know. Have you ever walked across the Brooklyn Bridge before, Trevian, in New York?
I've walked across the, well,
Okay,
I've
so
run
like,
across it in the
okay.
marathon.
Okay, well, so you won't really know about the walkway. So the walkway of the Brooklyn Bridge is like it's above the roadway or whatever, and like it's very crowded. And what they're doing is, well, you'll see in the video, like they have like all these like set up all these things they're selling. And it's almost like a gauntlet. It looks almost like it's like third world kind of like bazaar, kind of like Indian bazaar type of thing. They're setting up here on the Brooklyn Bridge, and of course people are concerned about it, and they're finding all these kids that are doing all this labor. So let's take a look at this child labor video here.
Licensed vendors are swarming the Brooklyn Bridge. They're selling hats, fruit, and they're taking advantage of tourists.
Because they are everywhere.
But there's a more disturbing side to this story. The small children who are plying the trade. Kids are out here and some of them appear to be all alone.
Excuse me, how much is the fruit? $5.
Do you work here by yourself?
No, my mom's in the.
Ah, okay. How old are you? 12, wow. Just a bit further across the bridge.
How much is this? $10.
Vendors with licenses are allowed to sell over here off the bridge. Sammy's family runs this licensed ice cream cart and says his own daughter can't even work legally for him.
It's against the law. You have to be 18 and over. But you see all these illegal vendors with kids up to 8-year-old kids working illegally. This is where we've been for 20 plus years, and we follow and we obey the rules. And underage kids are not allowed to work in New York.
Another case of rules for thee, not for me, or rules for thee, not for me with the illegals. Here we go. Are we shocked?
You know what? I'm not shocked because the kids are citizens, and so they can't do anything to the kids. Where if this is still going on,
whose kids are citizens?
Those kids they're born here. The parents are illegal. The kids are citizens.
Well, some of them. I mean, that 12-year-old's probably not born here, but yeah.
Probably not. But
what I'm concerned about with the kids, honestly, I'm concerned about them just being like sex trafficked. Because you've noticed, little boy said, "My mom is in the bathroom." There's no bathroom on the Brooklyn Bridge, so that was clearly a lie. So, like, I'm just concerned about who's putting these kids here. Are they there against their will? Are they being
I'm sure
sold?
there's a lookout.
You know what I mean? Like, there's. You know what I mean? There's all of that, and the fact, and then the gentleman talks about the fact that in New York. Now he said over 18. I mean, I know when I was, I'm born and raised in New York. You could work at like 14, but I guess I don't know if there's like a thing with like the vendor thing that may be over 18.
I think it's a vendor situation.
But they have these kids out here, and it's like I don't understand how the police can just turn a blind eye. They see this happening because I've seen it happening. Even the times that I go, up to New York, but I'll pop up there, or whatever, and I've seen it all the time. And I just, the reason why I wanted to highlight this story is because I think a lot of times people think like, they're kids, you want to help them, you want to give them, money for whatever they're selling or whatever. But it's like, you're not really helping them though, because this money, a lot of it is going back into like these organizations that are trafficking people and that we don't even know we don't know what these kids go home to, you know what I mean, or who's watching them or who is in charge. It's not always just, because obviously, like I said, that kid was lying about his mother being in the bathroom. There's no bathroom on the Brooklyn Bridge. There's not even a porta potty on the Brooklyn Bridge. So what is that? You know what I mean? And I think that it's like you look at them, you want to help them, you feel bad for them, but it's like if you're giving them money, it's almost like when you see the homeless people and they're on drugs, and it's like, yeah, you want to help them, but I know you're not going to eat nothing with this money. You about to go take this to buy some more crack. You know what I mean? It's like I don't want to, or we shouldn't be paying into a system that is ultimately enslaving these people, or just having them do things that they don't want to do, or they're just being trafficked outside of their own will. And we really don't know, because obviously little kids aren't going to say anything. They're just trained to say it's $5, it's $10, it's whatever to take the money. It's really sad.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm kind of torn about that situation, because if them, I just don't know. I don't have anything to say about what illegals are doing. I just think it should be cleaned up. You know what I mean? I don't have any remorse. I don't feel any type of way about it, because it shouldn't be happening, and it should be cleaned up by Child Protective Services or whomever it is that needs to come and clean that bridge up. And all it needs to be done is rated once before those parents will think twice about their kids being snatched up along with all of their merchandise and goods and whatever pennies they have made that day. I don't feel any remorse about that, because I believe that I don't have an opinion on illegals. I'm only worried about American citizens, and whatever else, it just needs to be cleaned the hell up. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
I
your
don't
opinion
owe
is they
them
need to
any.
be the F up out of here. That's,
Right.
which is
It just needs
also
to,
my opinion.
right.
But I'm just speaking to the fact that like they always try to put kids in front to make you feel bad or make you feel sad,
Right.
but you're not realizing that you're paying into an evil organization of human traffickers and drug traffickers and God knows what. We have a
Or they're
comment here.
just the parents being selfish. You
Another
know what I
comment
mean?
from Fa Brown. He says, they voted for this BS, y'all. I don't feel bad for the NYC citizen vendors complaining if they voted Democrat for them to be a sanctuary city. Correct. Even though I think that I would say, somewhat, I don't want to give a total expert opinion. I never been a vendor before, but I would say probably a lot of those vendors probably didn't vote for Mondami, especially for those who have to own their own businesses and things like that with the taxes and whatever. And you remember, Mondami wants to open city-owned grocery stores. So if you own any type of small grocery store, the bodega people can't stand them. There's actually a bodega like advocacy group in New York. There's so many bodegas, they can't stand
And
them.
I
People have
love
to
the
undercut all of them.
bodegas. I
I love the
love the
bodegas too. I
bodegas.
love
They
the
make the
bodegas
best
too.
sandwiches and the best food. I'm
They really
telling
do.
you,
I
they
grew up on
really
the
do. I
bodegas.
love, and they got flowers. I'm like, it's a one-stop shop for me when I'm in New York. Like, I'm
I
just going
grew
to
up
the
on the
bodega.
bodegas, and
You
I don't
know,
know with this government-run grocery store thing. Or I mean, all that's gonna happen is they just
but
gonna
that's
go
the
there.
that
They gonna
that's
buy that shit and resell it. That's all that's gonna happen.
that's lobbied like that's lobbied from stores like Erewhon, you know, because they want to own the capacity of the mid-size, smaller size, boutique size grocery specialties.
Mhm.
The bodega is like the best invention in a long time. I don't
And
care what
what the
nobody
bodega
says.
does is it gives people. I mean, granted, it's more expensive than because you already know in New York. I don't know if you knew this, but in New York and LA, they don't allow. It's against the law for them to open a Walmart. So Walmart can't open
Right.
within the city limits in New York. There is a Walmart literally on the border of Queens and Long
Long
Island
Island.
and
Yep.
Valley Stream. It's like
Yep.
right there,
Yep.
but they
Sure
cannot
is.
open within the New York City limits because they were afraid of pricing out small businesses. And then this idiot comes talking about a government-run grocery store doing that exact thing. And then there was actually, and I should have got the video for that. Then they were saying, because people were bringing that up as a concern, like, well, you're pricing. He's like, well, we can give them a stipend. Why would you need to give them a stipend if they could just have their store open and just be normal? Like, you know what I mean? Like this is where I can't do with the socialist. Like, it's like y'all don't need to control everything. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like a government should be a small thing. They're literally like the police. Like if anybody does anything wrong, you punish them. You say, hey guys, your government should be like a referee. If something bad happens, hey, Trevian cheated me out of I can run to the government and say, hey government, this is what happened. Government can make a decision. But every little thing the government tries to do, they want to own the stores. They want to own all the ways in which we make money, the means of production like that. This is what people don't get with the socialism, why the socialism is bad. For some black people get it, but a lot of us don't get it. But it's like if you hate the government and the government is systemically racist and crack in the 80s and Tuskegee experiment, all that stuff, okay, if you are a believer in all that stuff, why would you then want the government to have more control? It doesn't make sense. It's like we're not thinking. You know what I mean? Just it's not about loving Trump or loving Republicans. It's just like I vote Republican because I don't like the government. I don't like the government. I think the government is ultimately corrupt. Ultimately, but I think it is on some level a necessary evil. So, but we need to be watching it and be vigilant as citizens, and that we are not. We are falling asleep at the wheel, unfortunately, because as I always say, our leaders suck because they are a reflection of us. And we suck as citizens, so that's why our leaders suck, because we suck, because we're not doing our part, and it starts with us. So, you know, with that and the stores and Mondami, I think that people like that vendor probably did not vote for Mondami, but you have a lot of these, you know, these transplants, a lot of these rich people, a lot of these, you know, white kids from Iowa who coming into New York and they're at NYU and they're at Pratt and they're whatever. And we just want to help and we're helping them, but they're not realizing that you're not helping these people by contributing to this. That little boy is probably going to somewhere where he's probably being abused more than likely. He doesn't have a mother on that bridge. There's no bathroom on that bridge. So that was a lie. Like he's not going home with his mother. He may be in a den with a whole bunch of other kids doing turning tricks and doing God knows what. You know what I mean? But we're financing this like small microcosm of a nation within our nation, and it's crazy already. And I feel like, and this is why I get mad at Republicans. I feel like we're not bringing forth that message home in a way where it can be understood without it being called like racism and shit. You know what I mean? I just feel like our communication on our side just sucks so bad, because why is that? That's a very easy thing to see, but it's just for whatever reason, we just don't convey that correctly. Because
they don't care.
it doesn't make sense.
Because they don't care, you know, anything.
But do you care about winning though? You know what I mean? Like I'm a very cynical person. I'm not very like emotional and shit. I don't expect people to like care. But do you care about fucking winning? Give the people what they want so you can fucking win. Like you know what I mean?
Republicans are more powerful when they lose. That is something that I found out.
Well, I you know what it is? I think it's not so much that Republicans are powerful when they lose. I think Republican politicians like being in the losing seat. It's a lot easier for them to be especially if you're like a Thune, if you're like in a Republican in a red state where you're going to be elected no matter what, and that's where a lot of the Republican corruption comes in, where we don't take a look at a lot of times. Like, did you know that the richest member of Congress? Guess who the richest member of Congress is? I did not know this. I was surprised to find this out.
Well, who?
Okay, well, the Democrats as a whole are richer than the Republicans at this point. They're richer. But the richest member of Congress is the West Virginia senator, former governor, Jim Justice. He's worth like $660 million.
Wow.
When I found that, I was like, because I found it out. Remember, we did a story about Lindsey Graham and him being like one of the lowest, you know, paid senators or whatever by that story, whatever. To find out Jim Justice from a place like West Virginia made all this money, what are you doing? You know what I mean? What have you? Not saying that I'm not against you making money, but it's like, how'd you get all that money? You know what I mean? Like, it's a question to ask. Like, where'd you get that money from? But it's people like him in red states like that are going to get reelected no matter what. You know what I mean? And a lot of times they don't necessarily like for Republic. Not saying him. I can't speak for him personally, but a lot of times people in his position don't like Republicans to be in the lead, because when you're in the opposition, you kind of can sit back and just say everything Democrats doing wrong. You don't have to actually do anything. I mean, a great example of that is, let's talk about it, healthcare. You know what I mean? It was great to sit back when Obama was president. Obamacare is bad. Obamacare is terrible. But now that Trump is in office, what are y'all niggas gonna do about it? You know what I mean? Like, you're here now. You know what I mean? You have to do something about this. So I do believe what you're saying, that a lot of times Republicans especially like to lose because they can sit back from their laurels in their red state. They're going to win no matter what. In their seat, they're going to keep no matter what, for how long, forever. And like Lindsey Graham, for example, not to speak ill of the dead, but Lindsey Graham was in a reliably safe red seat, so he can go work for Israel. You know what I mean? He can go do the war thing. You know what I mean? He didn't have to worry about doing anything for the citizens of South Carolina, because, I mean, Was he not going to not be elected? Of course he was.
Right.
And it's the same thing that the Democrats do with the blacks. Same thing. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. Democrats, they lord over these, these blue states and these black communities, and they know they don't got to do shit for real. Just say, Trump is bad, my natural hair, and they'll get reelected.
Right.
So it's like when the blacks and the whites wake up and realize we're both getting fucked, let's come together to figure out a real strategy to move forward on a bipartisan level. That's when we'll be able to move forward. But they know that we're never going to do that because we're a bunch of fucking idiots and we're emotional and we get caught up by the next shiny object running around like a bunch of fucking cats, and we can never just sit around and just think. But what I would love for Americans to do is just sit and just fucking think, because black and white, red and blue, we're all getting fucked the same way. And if we just pay attention to that and come together on that point, we can really make America great again. For real.
I don't even know if that's it anymore. I think we need to start paying attention to these smart autistic kids and start working with these smart autistic kids so that they can figure out how these people have been stealing elections and prevent it. I'm all about working with the little
I can tell you how they've been stealing elections. They steal elections in that we're so busy fighting one another over racial shit and Nolan Wells and all this other stupid shit. They can do this shit behind the scenes, and ultimately people are so disgusted by the other side, they never want to give anybody any type of win, that it becomes like all this or all that. So I'm a Democrat. And it's like, I can never vote Republican. I can't do whatever. And of course, Democrats, they love that because it's like, great, you're stuck. No matter what we do, you're going to vote for us. Same thing we do. I'm a Republican, so I can never. And everything else outside of that is socialism. And So it's like they want us to be so staunch on our sides because in that way, we, the citizens, not them, but we actually have to do a lot of compromising. Because it's like, okay, well, I don't really love the war. I don't really love this, but I'm a Republican. I guess I got to vote for them because, same thing, Democrats. Well, I don't really love what they're doing with the illegals, but the Republicans, they're racist, right? So, I got to vote for them. This is what they do. This divide is what keeps them able to pilfer off with all the fucking money while we're over here trying to decide and be on a team. Like, it's not about a team. Like, I've told people all the time, if they were a Democrat we're voting for, I'd vote for them. I'm not against it, personally. I just can't do Democrats and the illegals. Like, that's the one thing. Like, we can't do the illegals. Like, when y'all let that shit go, y'all might have a chance to win the vote for me. I can maybe see a Democrat in a local race or something. You know what I mean? I could see that possibly. You know what I mean? There are a lot of people in Pennsylvania here. A lot of the people who would say they'd vote for Vetterman who are Republicans. I wouldn't, but there are a lot of people who said they would. So I'm not against that as a thing. But we need to be more on that type of time as Americans if we're going to move forward, instead of it being just, we got to all be on this one team. Like, there's no one team that's doing anything enough for the Americans.
I'm not on anybody's team.
But most people are on a team.
And which is unfortunate because
and elections are won. Remember when they say it's a turnout election? What does a turnout election mean? You got to bring out your team. That's what it means. We're groomed in the media and in politics to be these team people rather than being issue people. My mission in life is to help make Americans be more issue people, because an issue can go under either team, under either time, and we should be able to play the teams against one another to get what we want. But unfortunately, we're all socialized to be like, I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat, and I hate them, and we have to hate each other for what? The only people that get rich off that are the people at the top, because Bernie Sanders and Lindsey Graham were best friends. A lot of people don't know that. How does that work?
Look, all I can say is
we're fighting like idiots.
I've hired my own Rain Man team. I've gone and found people who don't associate with people who are not tainted with issues, whether Republican or Democrat, illegal or anything. They're focused on my issues and building my vision and my product. And I think that's what America needs to give back to, because if everybody is focused on themselves and making themselves better and building and growing, I don't think we need to even have any of these conversations anymore. So
come off the team and do what's best for yourself.
And do what's best for yourself.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. And when everybody's doing right and doing well and building and creating, we have an enormous GDP. Because everybody's building something.
Speaking of coming off the team, Master P recently, I don't know if you've seen his first video. Master P, he came off the team And what he said was, I covered it on last pod, very innocuous, just saying that, at this juncture of life, Black people, we can't be so concentrated on slavery and things of the past. I mean, very much anything any of us would have ever said. This is nothing like, groundbreaking, you know what I mean? Just nice to hear from Master P, but it's nothing that me or you have not said before. It's not groundbreaking or whatever. It wasn't and he wasn't in a very, innocuous way. He wasn't insulting anybody. He didn't say, you niggas better than none of that. I mean, super nice, you know what I mean? Yeah. Super nice, trying to be super careful, trying to really, really care about the message and who it's going to, and really trying to be, just very nice about the message and very caring about how it's going through. And that's, he really conveyed that was the message. But was that taken that way? Of course not. What the blacks do? They got offended because that's what the blacks always freaking do. Is that not? Right. So
right.
Master P being a nice person, he didn't learn how we've learned, because I say all the time, my mother always told me, you can't satisfy niggas no matter how hard you try. So just say what you got to say, let it be that, and the folk that get it gonna get it, and the folk that don't, shake the dust off your feet and move on, like Jesus said. Like I can't be bothered with people being offended by everything I have to say. But Master P, him being a nice man he is, he did an apology for y'all niggas, and from the comments on X, what was the point? Because y'all niggas y'all still be mad at him regardless. But let's take a look at Master P's apology and backpedal on the very, milquetoast, commentary that he had before. It wasn't even that deep. Like let's watch him backpedal.
What's up, y'all? For the ones in the back that can't hear, stop making them false narratives. I love my people. When you talk about slavery, our ancestors been through so much, and we're not gonna forget it. You know what I'm saying? But what I want to tell y'all is, even though we're going to always be aware of it, but we have to do something to bridge the wealth gap. That's what I'm saying. We can't change the past, but we can change the future. And we're going to constantly fight and educate our people. But I want to let y'all know, Apple is making $32 million an hour. How do we get a piece of that? Because we need to be able to bridge the wealth gap. That's the only thing I'm saying. And that's the only way it's going to happen. We got to educate our people and educate our culture. And that's what I'm doing.
So there he goes.
He didn't even have to say all that, because he didn't say anything from what he had said from the first, which he said, look, he said, all you need to do is work hard, build something, and keep a clean reputation. What was so wrong with that?
And be honest, do good business.
And be honest and do good business.
Remember what the Wokie said, being on time and being independent is whiteness. Remember that. That's whiteness. You have to be late and undependable to be black. That's what the Wokie said. The Wokie said you have to be late and undependable. Anything else, doing good business, being kind, being on time, that's considered whiteness. So I guess that's why they're so mad at Master P. Trevin, are you? I think she's paused. She's muted. Okay, yeah, she's muted. That's fine. I guess she's taking care of something in the background. Okay, she's taking care of something in the background. Are you taking care of something in the background? Because you're like muted. Okay. So yeah. So you know what I mean. As far as Master P goes or whatever, I mean, there was no need for an apologize. What he said was not even anything that was like bad. He was trying to be nice about it.
Laverne said, "Let her in."
Oh, okay. You back? Oh, Laverne. Laverne, you just texted me and said you was going to handle some business. Now you back? Okay.
Change.
All right. Outfit change. So Laverne, did you hear the Master P video?
Yeah, I saw that. Let me tell you something. Niggas gonna always be niggas. At the end of the day, I don't give a shit what nobody can say. Niggas gonna always be niggas. See, it's the difference between niggas and black folks, because niggas gonna always have a problem with something. Ain't nothing never gonna be right. I don't give a damn what you do for them. They'll never appreciate it. They always have that woe ass me mentality, like somebody owed them something. But yet they don't want to get up, go look for a job. You want to stay home and smoke weed all fucking day. You wonder why you can't get a job. You can't make it if you high all damn day. It's like that song say, I was gonna go to work, but then I got high. We
can leave it to Laverne to always be cutthroat to the point.
We have another comment here. We have another comment here from Fa Brown. He asked, are NYC bodegas equivalent to poppy stores in Philly, or are they different? Yes, the NYC bodega and a poppy store is the same thing. And in New York, we also call them ox stores. An ox store is when it's run by Arabs, and a poppy store is when it's run by Spanish people. What's funny is ain't none of that shit run by black people.
Black
But
people.
anyway, but I will say this. When I went to Atlanta was the first place I ever saw it. I remember 2010. I saw like a poppy store, bodega store run by black people. I was like, a black people corner store? Like that was the first time I saw that was in Atlanta, to see a black people corner store. And I hopefully Atlanta's still like that. I don't know. I haven't been in a few years, but that was the first time I ever saw like black people have like a corner store was in Atlanta. And I was shocked by it being a New Yorker, because in New York, all the ox and the poppies got all the stores. So yeah.
So anyway, like I was saying, people need to learn to focus. We all know everybody has problems. We all are gonna have problems. Okay, shit is gonna happen in your life. But at the end of the day, what is the solution? You don't focus on the problem. You need to focus on the solution. Like Master P said, if Apple is making so many billions, what he say, an hour?
32 million an hour.
32 million an hour. How do we get a piece of that? Focus on what the solution is, not what the problem is. And then you always use that for your life, okay? For your whole life. If you need a car, but you don't have no money, focus on what the solution is. You know, if you believe it, you can achieve it. But you have to believe that you can do that. And then you have to put your plan together. And then you have to make it happen. Because if Jeannie, Joni, and Jack get it, then why in the hell you can't get it? What's the problem? Right. You know, ain't nobody at the car lot saying, well, I'm only selling cars today to Sally. You know, nobody is saying that.
It's because I'm black, Laverne, and my credit score is low, and the credit scores is racist anyway, because the white man used that to keep me out of my Nissan Altima. That's what that is.
Yeah, but guess what? Listen, if Mary Cloud Bethune back in the day, on her little bitty ass salary, could save up all that fucking money. Today we are making 10 and 20, 30 times more an hour than what they made back then. So what's your fucking excuse? It's no excuse. You just need to have the, as my husband used to say, govern yourself accordingly. Put your damn money to the side. Hey, yeah, I'm gonna pay these bills, but I got this much. Even if it's $1, $2, or whatever, you put your shit on the side till you get yourself together and be able to do that. You know, put them crutches down. And like I said, if everybody else is doing it, you can too. It's no fucking excuse. Stop blaming the white man for everything, because everything is not the white man's fault problem. Some of that shit start with the man in the damn mirror. So when you look at yourself in the mirror, you the fucking problem, because you don't build all kind of cases about why you can't do this and why you can't do this and why I can't achieve this. The white man don't stop me from going to work this morning. I was gonna take my kids to school, but the white man stopped me from going there too. You know, get off of that shit. Be like them goddamn crackheads in the motherfucking street. They know they want that crack, so guess where they ass at? They right on your local corner throughout your motherfucking neighborhoods. Right there, that red light with that fucking can saying, can you give me, you got $1? Where my camera at? You got $1? You got $1? You got a quarter? You got a nickel? You know? They getting their damn money. They ain't got no excuse. Yeah, I got fucked up last night smoking my crack. But guess what? I'm right back in that same light today, bent over with my same can asking for money, because consistency pays off. And I'm not making fun of nobody with a fucking drug habit. I'm just talking about how consistent people are when they really want something. So that's the attitude you have to have with life. You have to be consistent with what you want. You have to be focused on what you want. You have to be like a horse on the track, not looking to the left or the right. You have to put your mindset together and say, I want this, and set your little goal. I want this, and yes, I'm gonna have this. Okay, that's how you do stuff. Not make everything the white man's fault, because everything is not the fucking white man's fault. White people can't chill just like black people do. Okay, it's not just one color just achieving every fucking thing. You know, everybody get a piece of that shit. So, like I said, be about your business, because when you're about your business is gonna be about you.
But Project 2025,
Period.
It came out and it's racist. It's gonna stop me from doing stuff because I'm black. And the Crown Act, because they don't want me because my natural hair. It's always gonna be something. They gonna find something. They gonna find a way to be a victim. I don't know why. I don't know what that is. I don't know who's teaching that. But for whatever reason, you can give all solutions in the world.
my hair natural too. Go put 2 hair bows on that motherfucker and take your ass to work. Don't use that shit as no crutch. Don't use that shit as no excuse. Don't let that shit stop you, my sister. Put them damn 2 ponytails on your head and get your hat and take your motherfucking ass to work. Because it ain't no excuse why nobody is not doing what the fuck they need to do to make them ends meet in their fucking house. There's no excuse. That shit's laid out.
Ooh,
Speaking of work,
period.
our last story today is from one of the hardest working men in show business, who I would say is probably the only rapper, or I would say the rapper with the best retirement plan in the business right now. That's none other than Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. We have a clip of him. He was talking on the other day, talking about how rap is now so much more geared toward the youth culture, and how he doesn't really make new music anymore, and why that is, and how he settled into being a producer, which I don't know. Were you guys watching Power? Did you guys watch Kanan? I just finished Kanan.
First of all,
I just finished
the Power
Kanan.
series is one of the very few things that I even watch. So Raising Kanan was my favorite. I'm mad at Juke for killing Rock.
She had to. Juke had to kill Rock. But you know what I thought about? Because it's so funny. Because I just watched it because I like to binge. I like to watch it like in all together. I don't like to watch like one week, whatever. And I was getting toward the end. My sister saw it and my friend saw it, and I was just like, because as I knew that the uncles got killed. I knew that from social media. Unfortunately, they did that or whatever. But I was thinking to myself like, how? Because this is a prequel. And, Juke and Kanan are friends. Grown, so I'm like, how could they go from him killing her father, them being cool?
They set up
and
that
it made sense where it was
really
like, okay, well, she had to kill his mother to make it even, because there's no way they're going to be cool, because he didn't even have to kill his uncle. He didn't even have to kill Juke's father. He didn't even have to kill him. That was just some like wild out crazy extra shit. He didn't even have to do that for real. He really posed no real threat to him. Like that, and that's not something that he wanted to do. And they could, and I also feel like
Marvin went out like a G. Now
he did, but I feel like with all the Power children, whether it be Kanan as a child, and even Tariq, as a child, whatever they're very ungrateful for what their parents do for them in the drug game. It's like their parents risk their lives and do all this stuff, and obviously it's drugs. We don't advocate drugs, but the parents do all this stuff to get them into a place. And they're so fucking ungrateful. I can't stand Tariq from Power 2. I can't stand him. He is so ungrateful. He will never be his father. He will never be Ghost. Ghost is like one of my favorite television characters ever in life. He has so many layers. He's bad, but he's good. It's like he's bad, but you want him to win because you see so much greater in him. Like, I never really felt so much for a TV character than I have with Ghost. They did a really good writing with him. Even with him getting with a little Puerto Rican girl, like, I got it. Because the Puerto Rican girl, because me and my sister were arguing about it. She's like, he cheated on his wife. I said, no. The Puerto Rican girl made him feel young. She made him feel like who he was before he did the whole drug thing. Because all Tasha cared about was money and him selling drugs. And she was like a burden. I feel like the little Spanish girl made him feel like he was a young kid again, like he had possibilities again, like he could be more than just a drug dealer. I think that's why he fell so deeply in love with her. You know what I mean? But Angela, yes, I think that's why he fell so in love with Angela. But I'm not mad at the ending, because I knew the ending had to be like that, because they had to make it even for him and Juke to be cool as adults. That's the only way they could do it, is if she killed his mother and he killed her father, and it was like, okay, now we're just evened out basically. And did you see the end scene where they show when he was first born back in 1975? How they ended the show?
No, I didn't see that.
Okay, at the end of the show, I noticed that on these shows, what they'll do is like after the credits, and go back and watch it tonight on Stars. But after the credits, they put a whole other like a Easter egg like kind of scene and whatever. They had a scene where Rock was giving birth to Kanan in the hospital, and her brothers were there. And Juke was a little baby, but she was like a little walker because she was a little bit older. And they were all like, when the day that Kanan was born, and she was like, I'm never gonna let nothing happen to you. And she was like caressing him. That was like the last scene of the show, but it was like after the credits. So you got to go back behind to see that. But it was really good. But it's crazy because as I watched it, it's just like the two babies in the room kill all the adults in the room. That's so crazy to me. Like, imagine when you have a child and think like my child is gonna end up killing both his uncles, and then my niece gonna kill me. Like, that's crazy to think, you know what I mean? But great show.
Shout out Mario Van Peebles and those guys.
He was directing a lot of those.
Yeah, a great saga
He was directing a lot of those. So I think the last
one of the
power
very
thing they're
few
gonna do,
things
like
that I do watch.
they're doing something with Tariq and with the white guy. They're putting them in a show.
Joseph Sikora.
Yes, with Tariq and Tommy, they're putting this in a
Yeah.
show with them. I guess I'll watch it. I'm just not a fan of Tariq. I just feel like Tariq did his daddy so dirty.
Tariq actually is in the same place as Juke and Kanan because he ended up killing his father. So it's not. I just think they
And
do.
he was an ungrateful little bastard, just like Kanan was.
Exactly. So I think
So
they do
ungrateful.
a great job on the saga of it all and the twists and turns of it all. And I think that only comes from the experience of somebody coming as a Mario Van Peebles, to have been in this game, even with his father being in the game then coming in. And so I think they've done a great job on the entire Power series. Even Tommy's show is one of the very few things that I ever watch. Like there's really nothing on television
I love that
I
50
watch.
knows how to surround himself with the right people. He doesn't necessarily, he's not like a Tyler Perry where he feels like he got to do everything. You know what I mean?
He's
Like,
actually a great actor.
Delegate.
Yeah. He played grown up Kanan. He's actually a great actor.
Yeah.
And so I actually knew the attorney who was suing him and the Power series. Monique Presley. I guess they owed some money, how it goes in different relationships when the show blows up and people feel like they're not getting their just due.
Gotcha.
And so Monique Presley represented, and I know she don't want me to tell this, and it should probably lose her law license if I tell this, but she said that she lost that case because she fanned out with 50 Cent.
So what, she was suing against 50?
Yeah, she was against 50, says she got in the courtroom against 50, fanned out, and they lost that case.
50 drug dealer ass probably knew that too. Let me get this bitch.
Yeah, because
let me get
it's
let me
not
get
like
this
she's
bitch liking me.
And that's exactly what
And I'm
happened.
sure because 50, I mean, he old and fat now, but 50 used to be that nigga 20 years ago. So if it was any time,
so this was 2018, and 50 was in great shape.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
she got fanned out. How you gonna go in for your client, get fanned out by the opponent, and blow the whole fucking case because you can't?
I mean, 50 Cent was a
who
big
does
star.
that?
If you were around 2000, 50 Cent was a huge fucking star.
I've been
I'm not
around
saying
the
it's
most
okay,
powerful-
but
I've been around the most powerful men in the world, and I do not get fanned out.
but some
You know
people,
what I'm
but
saying?
everybody's not
So-
like you. You know what I mean? So
It's like,
if she knew that, she should have kind of worked that out and kind of maybe she didn't think in her head that I'm going to be in front of 50 Cent tomorrow.
And
then
I
she
definitely
probably
would have
didn't-
never told nobody that shit. You know what I'm saying? That will cost you your fucking law license. And so I'm like, how do you get up in there? And there's a lot of money at stake. I knew it was 20 million or something like that.
Oh,
and
wow.
you blow the fucking case because you
And I
fanned out.
love, everybody talks about how mean 50 is with his whole thing with T.I.
No,
whatever.
I
I was
don't think
team
he
50
mean.
throughout that whole thing. Throughout the whole T.I. thing, I was team 50 that whole time. I was team 50 always. I'm a representative for New York. So I was team 50 throughout the whole T.I. thing. But I will say, I love, and nobody ever talks about like the good side of 50. And there was like, because everybody's like, he's so mean, he's a jerk, he's an asshole. He is. But there was a video of like this little kid who was like, I should have got the damn video. I saw an ex where like this boy was like so happy like to meet him, and the boy was crying, and 50 was so like fatherly with him. And it was like, you never see that side of 50. And I love what he did with Mary J. Blige, after she got that, she left Kendu, who was her ex-husband / manager. She had to pay him all that money. And that's when he put her in power and made sure she was getting like a check to be able to pay that, down and eventually pay that off. She's not paying that anymore. But it was a really hard time for Mary. And I love the fact that, 50 just being a friend, you know what I mean, hooked her up like that.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at 50. This is actually a pretty long clip, but it's good. So we're going to let it play. And he's talking about basically just retiring out of rap and how rap is not for people his age anymore, and why he doesn't why he, unlike a lot of these other old people, don't make music anymore outside of just the theme songs for his shows.
Okay.
Only giving us music as themes and intros.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be in the way. See, look, hip hop culture is connected to youth culture. You are not supposed to be the hottest in nothing at 60. Fuck that, man. You can still do your shit. Like you can still sing, and that's love music. It don't never.
But you've
timeless.
never felt like you still have one more album in you.
No, I still got love for music. I'm never gonna lose that. Like I'm always want to do something, and those are like entries. Look, this is me putting a little piece or tab or something in there for them here. That I still do it. That I still got it.
But you ain't giving us.
I don't need it.
I can't come. I know you
bust their ass right now.
about me.
Put them niggas out, and I do the shit from 03 and fuck them up right now.
Right, true.
Right now.
So
Do you have
bring them.
any?
We go international. They
You
don't know what
got
the
any
fuck they talking
unreleased
about.
albums? 50. You got any albums you recorded? You just don't want us to hear?
Yeah, I got music out in.
Nadeska, he got
albums
mad.
worth of-
Nadeska, he got mad
if I don't
records,
look, if it doesn't sell, you keep it to your motherfucking self, right? Motherfucker tell you this was a personal album. I made this for this and that. Then why do I hear it, bitch?
Yo, but sometimes you need to share that with the world. The world needs to go through that with you. We want that sometimes.
No, man, you just.
Yo, you were the king of
those things
marketing
you can
and
put it-
promotion, but sometimes
Put it
we
out
want to
for
know.
promotions for something. If you want to do it, like tie it to something and just let it go. It'll
So
work.
in the Paid in Full movie, would there be records from 50 Cent in the movie?
I'll do something for it. You know,
50 featuring Tyrese.
and that time we gotta figure out something.
Let's go.
That's right. You're an actor. That's right. You're an actor.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about
But 50, also on top of you not want to do it yourself, you will tap in with a younger artist like Skilla Baby who's getting ready to drop.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. Yeah, you'll do them features.
I like some. I like Skilla, the baby. A lot of the new artists, I check them out. Like I look for what I like in the new artist. So I'm not a critic to them. I just look and say what's cool about him. Like why is he who he is right now to the culture at the moment? Like I think whoever's in college is your core audience because their socialization is so important to them at that point that they go party every available moment away from their schoolwork.
Yo, you always in business mode. You can't even.
Yeah, always.
I can't even just come get the hard drive from you and just put out some records.
My core audience, my core audience is running the world right now.
Yeah.
They are successful in running the world. And this may be why you see me able to make deals that it wasn't possible to make. You know, and
because you walk in them boardrooms
and I'm 50.
Yeah.
They know.
Yeah.
The significance of me. So then it changes the way things are, you know, and then it's cool. I wouldn't pick a different time.
There he is. There he is. Donnell, what up, brother? Great show tonight, Joe. Phenomenal show.
Donnell was super clean on us tonight.
Super clean.
Came in here pipping on fire.
So yeah, this was after the Donnell Jones and whatchamacallit and Joe versus which Joe clearly won. I mean, hello. Catalog. But we won't bore our conservative audience with that going deep into the R&B. But yeah, I will say that about 50 Cent. I mean, I just love 50. Like everything about 50, his attitude, just the way that he looks at things. He's such a pragmatic, like down to earth, person who's not like overly emotional. He's just so real. Like he just like, if that shit is personal, why are we hear it? Like I'm gonna put this personal record out. Okay, well keep it to your fucking self. Like
Right.
he defies all of like just these stereotypes of what music and artists you're supposed to be, because there's always like that personal album. Like they always do that, and it's so true. What he said.
It was
like,
real
if it's
personal
that
to me.
Then why the fuck would you put it out then if it's that fucking personal? You know what I mean? Like, and that's just such a real thing to say. But nobody says things like that. That's why we love 50.
That's the closing statement of the show. It's like, if it was personal, why you put it out?
And it's so commonsensical and so like, duh, yeah, but like nobody ever says that, because it's always like that. I had to put this personal album out and it's so close to me and these are my most private thoughts. And I'm like you're Taylor Swift. So it's like, do you really have private thoughts at this point? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but they all do that. Like there's always that personal album thing. And I love the fact that he was able to speak to that and just talk about, how bullshit that is. And I love the fact that he's just so confident in himself and his career where he is. He even said like, I bust out my 0304 shit and I'll clean all these niggas out. You know what I mean? Which is the truth. You know what I mean? But he doesn't have to go out here and try to be new and try to be young and try to keep up with, NBA YoungBoy or whatever these new people is out here. He knows what his legend was. He knows what his artistry, was, and he's cool with that. And he can rock out being a legacy artist. And I feel like so many artists of that era, of just eras in the past, they just can't let it go. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, bro, like, it's okay. Like, be who you're going to be. I feel like this with artists. I feel like whatever you listen to in like high school, college, like he was saying, high school, college, like that's your music for life. And I feel like you're young and you make that music, but you grow and then your audience grows with you. And then those people will always be your fans, but you're not going to necessarily be on the Billboard, top 200 right now. But your fans who are with you will always be with you. Like I'm a big fan of Faith Evans. Faith Evans ain't had a hit in years, you know what I mean? But I will always love her. And when she has a tour, I will always go because that's the music I listened to when I was in high school. You know what I mean? That's just how that's what's going to go. But I feel like some of these artists, they just can't get with the fact that, like, bro, like you're old. It's okay. Evolve, move on, entertain your audience because you'll always have your audience. Because I don't listen to none of these young people really. I can tell you NBA. I say NBA Youngboy. I can tell you a song of his. I couldn't even tell you. You know what I mean? I listen to young people stuff, but I listen to 50. I was even listening to Best of Both Worlds yesterday. R. Kelly and Jay-Z. Like I listened to that song Honey, because Honey samples Love You Inside Out from the Bee Gees, which is one of my favorite songs ever in life, ever by anybody ever, is that song. So, you know what I mean? My sister was even saying, we were talking about it. She was like, I still listen to the Best of Both Worlds like it was out yesterday. You know what I mean? Because that's our music from high school. So we're always going to listen to that. So it's like, be comfortable entertaining your audience, people your age, and you can always make money because, like 50 said, his fans are now people our age, people who run in the world, people who own, are CEOs and shit. His audience ain't in high school and college and being young. They're not looks maxing or whatever these young people do with their time. You know what I mean? They're the 40-year-olds, and that's fine. You know what I mean? I love the fact that he's so comfortable in his skin and so comfortable with his audience, not necessarily being on the cutting edge of whatever. He's just very comfortable in his own skin, and I love that. I love that just kind of that energy kind of just comes off 50. He's just such a cool person. Like I'd much rather chill with 50 than I would like a Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? Like I would like you would love to be able to. It's the same way I always just say like back in the day. Like I would love to sit around and like smoke a blunt or like have a drink with like Solange over Beyonce. You know what I mean? Like way more interesting person. You know what I mean? Just I
don't want my battery to die.
Huh?
Benji, I don't want my battery to die because how I'm set up, I can't.
It's 4 o'clock anyways, after 4 o'clock. So you guys, thank you so much for watching. This was our last story anyway. I apologize for last week. That was me. I got called on a work thing, so I couldn't do the show last week, so I apologize for that. Anyway, my show will be Saturday at noon. I believe Fi Brown's going to be on. I'm pretty sure. Well, it'll be me and Fi on Saturday and whoever else. Trevor, any last words to everybody before you go?
I just want to thank you all for joining. I can't see how many of you are in the room,
but 1,140. Thank you guys for showing out today.
Pulling up, and hope to see you next week, 2 p.m. Eastern on the Hood Conservative.
Yeah. Have a great one. Out. Love you. Peace out. See you on Saturday and next week.
Oh, shoot.